have happy accidents. And you have a brand new, beautiful tree.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Woodlawn Cemetery here in Orlando, Florida, just outside of Orlando actually. But today we're going to visit the final resting place of an American icon, and that would be Bob Ross. Now, if you're not familiar with who Bob Ross was, he was a painter. He hosted a show called The Joy of Painting for, I believe it was over 10 years. And he had a very interesting life. Kind of sad what ended up happening to him, but yeah, we're going to visit his final resting place and talk a little bit about his life. So let's go do it. This is a beautiful cemetery. Looks like they have a cord here so you can ring the bell. I believe this is a replica of the Liberty Bell. Pass and Stowe, Philadelphia. Never seen anything like that in a cemetery. Now, if you're not too familiar with Bob Ross, he was born in 1942 in Daytona Beach, and he dropped out of school. He was not a very good student, and he started working as a carpenter with his dad. He lost part of his left index finger, which kind of affected his ability later on to hold a palette while he was painting. But when he was 18 years old, he enlisted in the United States Air Force and was put into service as a medical records tech. He rose to the rank of Master Sergeant, and he ended up spending 20 years serving our country in the military. Now, if you watched his painting shows, you would never think that he would be, a very stern kind of guy. But when he got done serving in the military, he was a hard guy when he was in the military. And when he got done, he vowed that he would never raise his voice again, that he wouldn't be that type of person. He just wanted to share his skills and his passion with the world, and his passion was painting. He learned how to paint. He did very well. He painted thousands of portraits over time. Now, one of the things I find interesting, because I try to paint myself, and I'm not very good. I will say that right now, that my painting skills are horrible. And taking painting lessons is not always easy, but Bob Ross had a way of doing that. He didn't always agree with his instructors, because a lot of them would tell him, hey, paint a tree here. And most people would say, okay, well, how do you paint a tree? And so that became a big thing. He would teach you how to do it, and then you could watch him do it as you do. A lot of people do that now on YouTube, but Bob Ross was really the first one I can remember to actually do that. Now, Bob Ross's show ran from 1983 to 1994, I believe, and he passed away not long after that, but he had pre-recorded several different shows beforehand so that there would still be more for people to watch and learn from. Now, the interesting thing is that Bob Ross, everybody has probably seen the show. The reruns are still on. They're still airing on Hulu and some other streaming services. They're on YouTube. You can still watch them, and they're still valid. They're still relevant. He was a great teacher. He was passionate, and he was an amazing painter. His stuff, he did a lot of landscapes. Very rarely, I believe, did he do people, but he did wonderful landscapes, and he taught you how to do it if you could paint with him, and you can now, and I've tried to do it. Mine turned out, not very good, but you can do it. Now, here's where the story starts to get a little bit sad. Bob Ross was a cigarette smoker pretty much his entire adult life. He had several health problems, and he expected to pass away early. He ended up dying at the age of 52 on January 4th of 1995, and he was in Orlando, and it was due to complications of lymphoma. Now, at the time of his death, he had prepared 7 paintings for a potential 32nd season of The Joy of Painting. Now, it's kind of interesting because even though the show, he was only taping them for 10 years, they had enough material to run these for a long, long time. It's just a beautiful place. Now, when Bob Ross got sick, he did not want anybody to know. He didn't want people to feel sorry for him, so he didn't tell people. It wasn't publicly known. He his close friends and family knew, but he passed away very early on. Now this is his grave marker. As you can see, there is, I'll zoom in here, there is a etching of his face. Bob Ross, 1942 to 1995. As you can see, there somebody left Bob Ross happy little tree mints. People left quarters, dimes, pennies, rocks, painting supplies down here. There's an empty canvas, and somebody made a painting for him. People leave flowers, wreaths, paintbrushes. Bob Ross influenced a lot of people and a lot of artists, and he was amazing. Watching his watching him paint on TV made you really think that you could become an artist too. Your paintings probably wouldn't turn out the same ways as his, especially as quickly as he could do it, but man, this guy was quite an icon, but he passed away way too soon. Bob Ross. Now, there were some issues and some lawsuits over using the name Bob Ross for quite a while. Originally they were against any marketing or anything like that, and they've let off on that now. Now his family, I believe, are the rightful owners of his trademarks and all that stuff, and they're more willing to market supplies and his name and keep his name and his legacy alive, which is nice. Now, when you're visiting cemeteries, sometimes you find something interesting. This is not marked, so I'm not sure what it is, but if you're from the area and you have any idea, please let me know, because this is neat, and there's no name or anything on here. Give you a better look at this. Well, I hope you learned a little something about Bob Ross, and if you are a fan of painting or an artist, keep that inspiration, because, I mean, only you will figure out what you can do with your talents once you finally discover them. I know I've felt the same way with a lot of things in my life. But, as always, take care of yourselves, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody.